So this is how you drop your bit error rate, and this is how I do it. There's other ways to do it, but this is how I do it specifically. So I'm going to do a little demonstration first, and we're not going to worry about how on P25 I had a 4.9. Keep in mind I am running 900 megahertz, so it's a little bit different than UHF in certain aspects, but not all too different, and it just really comes down to the transmit powers of the radio. So I'm going to key up on DMR on 900, and I'm going to give you a little demonstration of what the bit error rate is. So 0.9, so it's green, which means it's good. It's kind of hard to get it super low, but that was a full 35 watts out of the antenna. Well, 35 watts out of the back of the radio, with about 1.5 to 1.6 dB of loss on my feed line, and then about 9 dB of gain. Not dBi, we measure in dB. There's about 9 dB of gain coming out of the antenna, and that's directly above my bedroom here. So I see similar results on 440 when I use a portable. If I key up on 900 on my portable right now, it's going to be a high bit error rate. I don't really ever use P25 through the hotspot, as I have the repeater, but let me show you how I do this. So you're going to start off by test it and see what your bit error rate is first. Don't go out of your way to try to make it lower. Just sit where you would normally sit when you use your radio. I'm sitting at my desk. My PiStar is about, I'd say, 1 to 2 feet away from me. Test it out, see what it is. If it's not green, or if it's anything over 1.0, go ahead and do this. So what we're going to do is go to configuration. We're going to go into expert, DVM host, and we're going to scroll down to modem. So you'll see here my TX offset is 0. Do not change that, because that'll actually affect how your radio hears the hotspot. We're going to change the RX offset, and we're going to put it to plus 100. That's a 100 hertz shift up in frequency on receive, and basically what that does is it attenuates the signal a little bit, because there's no built-in attenuation on these devices. So go ahead and no software attenuation. That's what I was trying to say. So go ahead and set it to plus 100 and click apply changes. Wait for it to load and go back to your dashboard once it's fully loaded. And then key up and see what your bit error rate is. It should be lower from what you started. Again, you don't necessarily need to do this unless you have anything over like 1.2 to 1.3. That's the big thing. And bit error rate is very noticeable over the air. I personally think it sounds like wind noise coming through the microphone. And that is somewhat true from what I've heard other people say, but it's really hard to hold a conversation with somebody when their signal quality is absolutely garbage due to bit error rate. So go ahead, test it, take a baseline, then do the modification, and take another baseline test with your bit error rate. If it's still high, you can go to plus 200, and that will make a difference, a big difference. Although that's when you start to go into the area of losing the receive distance. So keep that in mind. Now, I always tell people run low power on the hotspot. As you probably already know, run low power. There's no reason to run high power in the hotspot. But what I will say is I just did a demonstration of 35 watts. That was 35 watts of power on 900 megahertz, right? So it kind of demonstrates how you could run high power, although there's no reason to when you're trying to use a hotspot and you're conserving radio battery. So it's just positives all around to run on low power at the lowest power setting you have. Unless you're getting super far away, you're walking across the house, then I could understand running higher power. So if it was helpful, let me know. If it didn't work, let me know as well. Okay, so editor note here. I recorded this for a friend of mine, one specific friend, so there's not too much formality in this entire recording. If this was helpful, leave a like, subscribe, comment. If it didn't work, drop a comment. I try to respond to them when I see the notification. And all the black squares you've seen throughout the entire video is purely for the privacy of myself and others. As I do on all of my videos, I like to blur out call signs and ID numbers and stuff like that, just so that I don't get any question like, hey, why was my call sign made public or whatever in a video. I don't want any of that, and it's just out of respect. So like I said, if it was helpful, leave a like, subscribe, drop a comment. If it wasn't helpful, definitely drop a comment, and we can try to figure out how to get you working. But with that, 7 threes, and thank you for watching.